Yo, what's going on everyone? Freakidude99 here, and today I have such a special build for you all. This voidtitan build uses the no backup plans exotic paired with 3 shotguns to unleash some of the most damage you'll ever see. Whether you're trying to take down Ecthar and Ghosts of the Deep, running salvage and abyss level deep dives, or trying to do master nightfalls, this build has got you covered and can do it all. As always, there's timestamps for each section of the build, and there's also a picture of the full build at the end of the video, along with a dim link in the description. With that out of the way, let's jump into the subclass. To start off, we're using our Ward of Dawn Super. The bubble has a shorter cooldown so we can use it more, and it gives us Weapons of Light, which is a 25% damage buff that will last for 15 seconds. This buff can be refreshed by repeatedly entering and leaving the bubble. Unfortunately, this buff doesn't stack with no backup plans, but it's a good bonus for our teammates and if we decide to use other weapons besides shotguns. For our class ability, we're taking Rally Barricade as it gives us an increased reload, stability, and range while behind it. And it's on a 10-second shorter cooldown compared to Towering Barricade. The lower cooldown is important as we get an overshield from casting it, and we trigger Powerful Attraction, Bomber, and Outreach. For our jump, I always go Strafe for the Titan as I find it is the best. For our melee, I choose Shield Throw for most content. Having a ranged melee that on hit gives you some overshield is really nice to have as it can save you in some dire situations. Shield Bash is good and it can suppress enemies which can stun overloads, but it can be more risky and is harder to hit as you need to get a sprint run up start. And when you're in the middle of some enemies and just need a quick overshield proc, Shield Throw comes in way more handy. For our grenade, I went with Vortex as I find it is the most powerful out of all the Void grenades. It lasts for a long time and can get kills easily. We throw a lot of grenades with this build, so having Vortex means we can lay out a lot of damage across the battlefield. For our first aspect, we have Bastion, which makes it so when we use our class ability, it will give us and our allies an instant overshield that regens when you stand behind it. This already is really good for survivability, especially since no backup plans gives a 35% damage buff to shotguns while you have a Void Overshield. This means whenever we go into a damage phase, we just use our barricade, give ourselves an overshield, and then we get that damage buff and fire away. Onto the second aspect, we're using Offensive Bulwark. While we have an overshield, we have increased grenade recharge, our melee has increased range and counts as a charged melee, and final blows extend the overshield timer. This aspect is godly as while we have an overshield, our just basic melee punch counts as an actual charged melee, so it triggers mods like Focusing Strike, Heavy Handed, and Impact Induction, as well as Echo of Exchange, meaning once you have an overshield, you just go punch things and regen your abilities super quickly. Now to our fragments, we got Echo of Starvation so we can easily get Devour on Orb or Void Breach pickup. Devour gives us full health on enemy kill and increases grenade recharge, and it extends the timer on kills, so we pretty much have it from the moment we pick up our first Orb of Power. We have Echo of Undermining, so our Vortex Grenades applies a 15% weaken to enemies on hit, causing us to do way more damage, so whenever we're going into a damage phase or against high health enemies, we just throw a grenade and we pull out our shotguns and do massive amounts of damage. We got Echo of Instability, so grenade kills give us volatile rounds for 10 seconds, allowing our void weapons to pump out some more damage. This helps out a lot as we use Basso Ostinato, which really benefits from that volatile increase. And finally, Echo of Exchange, so on melee kills we get grenade energy back based on the enemy's rank. This can give from 8% to 26% grenade energy, and with an overshield we deal more damage and actually it counts as a charged melee, so we get our grenade back even quicker. With our subclass built out, let's move on to the weaponry. Starting off in the kinetic slot, you got a great choice being the brand new Strand Shotgun until its return. This shotty can roll Overflow and Cascade Point, which is beautiful for ad clear and taking down majors. If you're good with the Chaperone, you can slate pretty well as Roadborne stacks together with no backup plans. And if you're lucky enough, then Conditional Finality absolutely slays with this build, so maybe try that out. For your energy, I personally love using Basso Ostinato, as with volatile rounds it can be really good for ad clear. Rapid fire frame shotguns have really good ammo economy, especially if you get this with lead from gold. You can pretty much always use this for whatever you need. And for the heavy slot, you want to use Legend of Acreus. This is a raid exotic, so it requires you to farm some Spoils of Conquest, but let me tell you that when you have this weapon with no backup plans, you feel unstoppable, even in Master Nightfalls. If you add the Catalyst, which gives it 2 more rounds plus 40 reload speed, and it gives it Trench Barrel, then you can literally nuke enemies no matter the content. It is so much fun to walk up to bosses, pop a barricade for overshield, throw down a grenade for weaken and melee for trench barrel, and then fire and watch their health chunk to 0 in seconds. Legend of Acreus also has a fun gimmick where if you run out of ammo, it is faster to reload 1 round at a time and spam fire. Doing this results in way more shots fired. If you don't have Acreus, then your best bet is running a heavy you like, and then using Forced Horseman, as its damage is also very high up there. With the weapons all covered, let's move on to the artifact perks. Anti-champion mods are your choice. Authorized mods arc is required to run triple arc weapon surge. Authorized mods melee is useful to cheapen the cost of our melee mods we use. Deeper Origins buffs the origin traits of Basso Ostinato and until its return. Unto the Breach allows us to spawn lots of void breaches from defeating void debuff targets. Overcharged Armory gives a 25% damage buff to our Basso and until its return in activities with the overcharged weapon modifier. Protective Breach ensures our overshield is up as long as possible. Supernova makes a weakened pulse on hit after picking up void breaches, which allows for more damage. And Squad Goals allows us to spread Devour to our allies by finishing any enemy. With the artifact perks all covered, it's time for the armor mods. Starting with the helmet, we are using Void Siphon so our Basso Ostinato can spawn orbs on kill. Make sure your siphon matches your main ad clear weapon. We're also using Hands On so our overshield melee kills give bonus super energy, and we're using Ashes to Assets so our grenade kills also give bonus super energy. The reason we don't run an ammo finder is because we aren't using primary weapons with this build. Plenty of special ammo will drop if you cycle through your weapons. Kills with heavy out spawn special, kills with special out drop heavy, win-win. For our stat distribution, we are focusing Resilience first for the 30% damage reduction and so our class ability regens faster. Second, we focus Discipline so we can throw our grenade more to apply weaken and get volatile rounds on Basso. And finally, on Strength so we can use our shield throw whenever we need to for an emergency overshield. Moving on to the gauntlets, we are using the exotic No Backup Plans. Its exotic perk is Force Multiplier. While using a Void subclass, Rapid Shotgun Final Blows or defeating a powerful target with a shotgun grants a Void Overshield and starts health regeneration. While you have a Void Overshield, shotguns gain a 35% damage increase and refresh the Void Overshield on kill. You also gain an increase to reload speed and airborne effectiveness. For the mods, we have Heavy Handed, so our melee kills with a Void Overshield spawn Orbs of Power. Impact Induction, so Void Overshield melees regen 20% grenade energy on top of Echo of Exchange. And Focusing Strike, so Void Overshield melees give 20% class ability energy on hit. Down to the chest piece, we will be using 2 elemental resistance mods based on the activity's threat modifier, and then we will use a concussive dampener or different elemental resist than the first 2. So for example, it's a void threat modifier, so I use 2 void resistances and a concussive dampener. If I don't have enough energy, I'll use an arc or a solar resistance on top of it. This ensures we have the most amount of damage resist. 2 mods stacked will give 25% damage resist, and a third will give 15% damage resist to that type. Moving on to the legs, we can use 3 arc weapon surges for 22% more damage for Legend of Acreus. For harder content, you can use 2 arc weapon surges alongside a recuperation so you can get health on orb pickup. And finally, to the class item, we're using Bomber and Outreach for 12% grenade and melee energy on class ability use. We're also using Powerful Attraction so we can pick up any nearby orbs of power on our actual barricade use, so we don't have to actually hunt them down. And this will also give health on cast on top of the overshield so you have maximum survivability. And with that, the build is complete. To use it, it is simple. Our main goal is to keep our void overshield active so we have that increased shotgun damage. This is easily achieved through using our class ability to start off. While we have an overshield, we can jump around and shotgun everything to keep it up. You can throw your grenade to trigger volatile rounds and apply weaken to bigger targets so it's easier to take them down. To recharge your abilities, just melee enemies while you have an overshield in between your shotgun shots. Your shield throw can be used for emergency overshield, but mainly you'll just punch to regen everything. When you're running low on special ammo, just switch to your heavy weapon and get some kills. Cycling weapons when rocking double specials ensures you always have ammo for all your weapons. And that's that. I've been using this build to shred all content, including Master Goes to the Deep and Master Nightfalls. It is a lot of fun to shotgun ape in PvE with this build and makes you one-shot most enemies. If you want to have some crazy amounts of fun, then get a friend to use the Navigator or Divinity alongside Cenotaph Mask. The heavy drops make it so Acreus just never runs out of ammo, and you either have Woven Mail to tank everything, or a big crit spot and weaken to just shred enemies faster. Both are really good and elevate this build to one of the most broken builds I've ever seen. And with that, we are finished. Of course, here's a picture of the full build, and there is a dim link in the description. If you enjoyed the vid, leave a like and a comment and maybe a subscribe to the channel for some more builds. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I have been FreakyDude99 and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out everyone.